There's so many different things that life insurance can do for people in so many different ways. And so at the end of the day, my encouragement to you is stop thinking about all of the different ways that you can sell it to people. Start finding the people that are on the same path as you. Hey, what's going on, cash flow hackers? It's Chris with Life 180, and for this video, I want to talk to all my life insurance agents out there. I want to talk to you about how you can have faster success in your life insurance business. Let's face it, 92% of life insurance agents fail out of the business altogether within 3 years of starting. And I don't think it's a surprise to a lot of people who get into this business and then they hear that statistic, because it's not the easiest business in the world when you are following traditional methodologies of how to sell. I think, unfortunately, compared to most other professional services or sales or even financial services, life insurance is one of the hardest ways to go, because I feel like it's one of the more commoditized. It's becoming a very commoditized product, even though it shouldn't be commoditized at all. And so if you fall into, as an agent, selling life insurance as a commodity, you're gonna get treated like a commodity broker, and they're gonna think they can get it from anybody, anywhere, at the cheapest price, more important than who they get it from and the coaching that goes along with it and all this stuff. And so my encouragement to you is, what I'm gonna go through here is, I have four things that I think you need to focus on to be able to get faster results in your insurance business. And here's the thing, I want to throw this caveat out there. When I say getting faster results, I'm not saying getting faster results just because of the fact that you're going to make more money. Yeah, you're going to make more money, and that's going to be amazing, and that's going to put you in a better position. It's going to help your family. It's going to put you in a position where you could hopefully reinvest some of your money into your business and grow it, reach more people, serve more people. All that stuff is great. But the bottom line is, I'm a big believer that money follows value. And if you do what I'm telling you to do, you're gonna truly put yourself in a position where you can authentically show up and serve more people in a more powerful way and help them solve problems in their life in a way that nobody else in the financial industry is gonna be able to do. And when you do that, you're gonna build a following of what I would call raving fans. You know, I'm stealing that from Russell Brunson, right? So like, you're gonna build these raving fans, these people that just love what you've done for them, that have this admiration and respect for the fact that you've helped them come to these realizations. You've helped them get closer to their goals and objectives in life, right? Like, and if you do this the right way, you're gonna make more money, you're gonna make more of a difference in people's lives, and ultimately, you're gonna be able to expand your reach and compound that effect. Because remember, compounding doesn't just have to do with money and the growth of money. It has to do with our influence. It has to do with our impact. It has to do with our reach on people in our communities. Because if we do this, if you just show up and you get 1% better every single day, remember, people way overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in a decade. And if you just focus and are diligent and consistent to doing what I'm about to tell you, my promise to you is that you are going to be one of the 8% that make it work. You're going to be part of the, hopefully not even the 8%. My goal is, hopefully enough of you watch this and you share this out. And if you're an agent, advisor, share this out with other people that you think would benefit from this. Because I'm telling you, if you just follow what I'm going to tell you, I think we could go from 8% success rate to a 30% success rate. That's what I believe. Because listen, I believe we should have a higher success rate, because there's no reason we shouldn't. If you're willing to do the work, there is zero reason you shouldn't be successful in this business if you have a heart of service in helping people. So let's get into this. All right, so the first thing that you need to do if you want to be successful, first step, is to find people who are on the same path as you, right? What do I mean by that? When you first got into this business, listen, nobody gets into the life insurance business unless you really understand the value of life insurance, unless you understand and have an emotional connection with the problems that it helps you solve in your life in one way, shape, or form, right? There's so many different things that life insurance can do for people in so many different ways. And so at the end of the day, my encouragement to you is, stop thinking about all of the different ways that you can sell it to people. Start finding the people that are on the same path as you. And why is that? Because if it makes sense to you, it's probably going to make sense to people who are on the same path as you. You're going to be able to have a different story. You're going to be able to share your story, right? If you find people who are on the same path as you, now what does that mean? If you're a mother or a father and you got kids and you have a different need for insurance or a different want for life insurance, because I'm a big believer, nobody needs it. I don't need life insurance. If I die, I'm dead. It's not for me. I don't need life insurance. I have life insurance because of the fact that I want it, because as a husband, as a father, I look at it as it's my responsibility to make sure that my wife and my kids have the life that I would create for them had I still been here, right? Like that's not a need for me, it's a want for me, right? So who am I to tell you or anybody else how much you should want? That's one of the reasons, like when Dave Ramsey says you should have 10 times your income, why? Like, don't tell me what I should or shouldn't have. Like, this is not a should product. This is a, how much do I want? And listen, if you're going to tell me you don't love your family enough, like that's on you. Like, or if you have different values or a different belief set, that's not for me to argue with you about, right? Like that's your decision, and you as a human being have to live with that decision or die with that decision, and your loved ones are going to either benefit or suffer because of the decisions that you made, right? Like that's not negotiable. That's just reality. And so the beautiful part is about finding people who are on the path that you're on is like you now can emotionally connect with them, and you can do a lot of stories and a lot of similarities. And this is why it's so important for you to be practicing what you preach, because now you can say, hey, listen, Sean, the reason I wanted to sit down with you is I'm doing this thing. And listen, there's a million different ways that you can start a conversation. I would say start it as inauthentically of a way as possible for you that would make sense for that relationship. But the bottom line is, now when I'm talking to Sean and I'm having this conversation about the fact that, you know what, I'm doing life insurance, and here's why I'm doing it. This is why I did it for me. These are some of the things that I kind of went through mentally and emotionally to process if it was the right or wrong decision for me. This is the conclusion I came to. I'm not sure where you are in your whole journey. These are some of the things I've learned. What's going on with you? Like, how are you doing? What's working? What's not working in your life? What are you really excited about in your life? What are you worried about? What are you concerned about? Let's have a real conversation, right? And if you can get to the place where you can open people up and have those real conversations, you're going to be so much more impactful. You're going to be able to make such a more impactful difference in their lives, and you're going to sell more life insurance because you're getting people to connect with emotionally on the level of like, hey, you should get 10 times your income. Why should I get 10 times of income? Well, because the rate of return on, if you make 100,000 a year, you need $1 million because $1 million and your wife could take 100,000 a year out for 10 years. And logically that makes sense. And you'd be like, oh, that's fine. But if I come at you and say, okay, how much do you want? I don't know. How much do you want? Well, what do you want your life to look like? If something were to happen to you tomorrow, if you were to not be in existence tomorrow, if you got in a plane crash, if you got diagnosed with cancer tomorrow and were told you only had 3 months to live, and stuff like that happened to you, like your kids who are 15, 11, and 8, or like me, 11, 8, and 4, like what would their life look like? Have you done everything that you would have wanted to do at this point in time to make sure that they're going to be able to live the life that you set up for them to live, right? And I don't know about you, Sean, but for me, that's the reason that I did this. That's the reason that I made this decision to do what I'm doing. I'm not trying to push my thing on you, but like, I'm just letting you know, this is what I'm coming from. Like, this is where I'm coming from. This is why I made this decision. And now you can get into, it goes back to like when we understand, I just did a video on this, is like understanding how to be a solutions provider. When you understand the products that are just there to solve problems for people, now you can identify as you're going through and having these authentic conversations, and you know the solutions that the products solve for the different problems and emotional challenges that people have in their life. Because don't make no mistake about it, life insurance is not a logical product. It is very much an emotional based product. And if you don't connect with that, you're gonna fail. I promise you. If you don't learn to connect with people who are on the same path with you and connect with them emotionally, it's not gonna work for you, I promise. The number one hang up that I see is a disconnection from trying to get to the emotion of things and connecting with people that are on the same path as you. So my encouragement, number one, I know this is a big thing and I know I went on a little bit of a tangent there, but number one, find people who are on the same path as you, connect with them emotionally. And that leads to number two, which is add value to people as much as possible without expectation. And so, I'm gonna just kind of keep piggybacking on that previous conversation, right? Like as I'm talking to somebody, I'm not trying to get right to the sale of things, right? I'm not trying to convince them of anything. I'm trying to get them to understand. I'm trying to educate. I'm trying to add as much value into their life as possible. That can look a million different ways. It's one of the reasons I create as much content as I do on YouTube, because my focus is the fact that I'm really passionate about this. If you can't tell, I believe in this from my head to my toes. And I find, like, with great gifts, and I've been blessed with an ability to talk about this. I've been blessed, with the resources to get it out there to people. I feel like I have a responsibility because of my passion to share this with people, and that's why I create as much content as I do. And so for you, I would encourage you, find what that is. Like, in every relationship's different. I find people that I talk to who are just joining the business, and if they want to work on our team, I serve them. If they don't want to work on our team, I serve them. I try to help people because I believe in what we do. And if people are out there wanting to do business the right way, I try to serve them. And I feel like it's no different with you and your clients. You have to try to serve them first and instead of trying to get something out of them, like a sale. Value is a one-way street. You can't give and extract value at the same time. And so as long as your brain is thinking about your commission, how am I going to sell this? How am I going to close this? You're always focusing on extraction of value. You need to be thinking about, how do I add as much value into this relationship, into this person, individual, into this family, circumstance, whatever? How do I help them get clarity and education about how to get to their financial objectives, right? If it's just life insurance, it's just life insurance. But I guarantee it's more than that, because let's face it, people get through college and I've got more financial literacy in one pinky than people learn by the time they spent $200,000 in college, right? And so from that perspective, when you look at it like that, you're going to go through this process, and you have the opportunity to serve people about understanding what are their goals financially. Make sure you have a good fact gathering information. Like, I call it our Life 180 X-ray. So we talk about doing this Life 180 X-ray that gets through the nuts and bolts of everybody's personal finances. And the goal of that isn't, by the way, I got news for you. A lot of people, we got this 3-page questionnaire on financial stuff, right? The goal of that isn't for us to just assess the breakdowns and whatever. The goal of that is for me to be able to get to know you, or for one of the people on my team to be able to get to know you and look at this sheet of paper, and I could tell a lot about you, about where your money's going. I could tell a lot about you based on where your debt is, where your savings are, where you're saving your money, where you're investing your money, what kind of investments they're in, how much debt you have, if you're saving for college, if you have kids, what your mortgage looks like, what your bills look like, all these different things, right? I could tell a lot about that. So my purpose isn't to go through and be like, oh, that's good, that's bad, that's right, that's wrong, because there is no right and wrong. There's just right and wrong for you, right? And the problem, I think, with this world is that too many people have been convinced that they need to give up control of the results in their life and just hand it to a financial professional and have them do everything for you. But I got news for you, that's a failing system. Very, very failing system. 95% of the people in this country are not able to maintain their standard of living when they hit retirement. The most successful, prosperous country in the history of the world, and only 5 out of 100 people are able to retire with dignity. That's disgusting. The system is failing. You have an opportunity to be a person, once again, that adds value into people's lives, gets people to see things, give them the resources that helped you come to your own epiphanies, have your own journey of self-discovery. If that's what made the impact in for you, why wouldn't that be the thing that made the difference in their life? Give them the opportunity. Now, not everybody will want it, and some people are going to say, hey, Chris, shut up, just get to the sale. I'm good, let's go, I want to buy. Don't talk past the sale. When people say they want to buy, let them buy, and that's fine. But some people, most people, are going to be in this for the journey, and whether they know it or not, give them the opportunity, serve them with value, and let them be able to at least have the opportunity to take the journey that you took to get to where you are. And so that gets me to number 3. Thing number 3 to do is time collapse their journey, right? You had a journey that you went on, and you probably, if you're anything like me, you probably not nearly as much as me, if I think for most people, and that's no affront on anybody, but I've spent literally tens of thousands of hours on this stuff. And so your goal, once you add value to them, is to help them compress their time frame, right? You may have, like me, when I got into this business, nobody wanted to help me. It's one of the reasons I have the passion that I have right now is that it was really hard for me to find people that wanted to serve and help. So I had to go out and find and read and do all my own research and do it all on my own. And so, you know, you could give them the information and then they could go out and they could try to find it on their own. Like you maybe made them consciously aware of something and so they're gonna go find it on their own. But I got news for you. If they do that, there's a chance that you're gonna lose them because they're gonna go to YouTube and they're gonna find me and then they're gonna wanna come work with somebody like us. Maybe not me, but maybe somebody else who's got a YouTube channel, right? Like, so by you helping compress their time frame, you can control the information that you're serving them, right? In a way, right? I don't mean this from a manipulative perspective. I'm just saying, like, funnel them the information that you had in a way that, you know, doesn't risk losing the sale or doesn't risk, like, you know, them going out. This is also, side note, another reason that I think everybody should have their own content online, right? Like, I know I've got tens of thousands of followers here and that, like, we're growing on all the platforms and whatever. And I spend a lot of time and dedication and money on doing this to serve and to grow and invest in the business. But the bottom line is, like, that's not what it's about. Like, if it's going to grow based on like the value that I'm adding to the world. And I know that, but like for most agents, even if you don't have 20,000 followers on YouTube or however many you're looking to get on another platform, even if you don't have that, just having your platform positions you in a way that enables you to be seen as the authority, right? Because you have all this content, you can control the flow of information. And when they go to look on YouTube, and at least if you're there, you can share your YouTube videos. And as long as your stuff is relatively close in information with the other stuff that they're gonna look at, they know you, they like you, they trust you, they're gonna work with you. That's just the way it is because you have it all the boxes checked, right? Unfortunately, if you don't have that, that's once again, it's one of the reasons I'm so big on everybody having what I call an authority platform and really taking the time to dedicate to that space. You run the risk of losing out in some way, shape, or form. Now, here's what I want to say on this. Your job, once again, is to just compress that time frame. Get them the information that took you a couple 100 hours to learn, break it down into easy bite-sized chunks, right? Like 2 hours, 5 hours, whatever it is, so they can dissect it. Give them a couple of your favorite videos that summarize it, get their interest to be piqued, get their knowledge to be expanded a little bit. You know, the levels of awareness, the 4 levels of awareness. Before they met you, they were unconsciously incompetent and they were blissful about it, right? They were totally blissful because they didn't know what they didn't know, unconsciously incompetent, you know, they were good. But now you've come into their life and you've said, hey, this thing exists. Now they're consciously incompetent. They know that there's something out there that they don't know. And for most people, that's gonna create a thread of discontent and they're gonna wanna learn. And so that's your job to give them the value, like I said in number 2. And then number 3, your job is to make that as easy as possible for them, right? To make it, if you can make that journey, that experience for them as seamless and quick as possible, your chances of succeeding and selling more life insurance and serving more people are gonna be higher. And then once they become a client, they're gonna be raving about the experience they had with you. They're gonna be sharing it with other people and giving you more referrals because you actually added value into their life. You didn't just sell them a product. And so that gets me to number 4, which is you need to make meeting people and networking with new people a major priority in your business. I don't know if this is going to new events, this is going to masterminds, this is going to networking gatherings, meetups, anything of that nature. Meeting people has to be at the forefront of everything you do because it is the lifeblood of everything you do. I just got done being on the road for 3 weeks almost, going to event after event after event after event. And I will tell you, if I did nothing else for the rest of the year, I have more energy and activity from those 3 weeks of work just being around high performance people at industry events of people that I know are on the same path as me, right? Number 1. They're on the same path as me. They have the same mindset, the same heart to serve, the same desire to build something significant, right? I went to Funnel Hacking Live. I'll just tell you where I was and while I was at Funnel Hacking Live, 5,000 other entrepreneurs there, 5,000 other people building their businesses, looking to serve and make an impact in people in their own way. What does everybody have a need for? Money. How to leverage money as a tool to help make their mission and message more impactful, to help increase the odds of their message and mission getting out there to more people. I'm not stupid. I'm there to learn for myself, but I'm also there to continue my growth, but also there to network with other people and to connect with people, because I know I can serve people in that area. Now, I'm not going in there trying to sell people stuff. I'm in there having conversations, learning about their business, right? Trying to get to understand where they are, to add value into their life. And when I add value, if they go, hey, that sounds appealing to me, what am I doing? I'm letting them know, hey, here's some resources. I'm compressing their time frame. And then when I compress their time frame, now we have a relationship. We're going to go back and forth, and I can already name 7 high-level relationships that I've developed that I'm just so blessed and so grateful for, honestly. And if you're watching this and you're one of those 7 people, like, you know who you are. And it's humbling. It's amazing that to be able to go into environments and do stuff like that. And what I can tell you is, if you just follow these 4 things, it's not rocket science. You just got to get out of your head and into your heart. And I know if you feel like you're struggling, and if you feel like maybe you're not good at that, you're not good at networking, maybe you're more of an introvert, I got news for you. Networking is a skill. It's not a personality trait, period. It's just not. And so my encouragement to you is to go out there. Every single person in the world can follow these 4 things. It's really not hard. You gotta really find people who are on the same path as you, whatever that path is. You need to add value into their life. You need to compress the time frame for that value. And then you need to repeat the cycle by making networking and getting in front of new people a priority for you. And if you do those 4 things, my promise to you is you're going to have a bigger impact in people's life. You're going to sell more life insurance. You're going to be part of the higher percentage, hopefully, if you share this out and get this to more people. We're going to have more people succeeding. We're going to make a greater impact in this industry, right? It's not going to be 8% and 92% people failing. There's zero reason that 92% of people should be failing in this industry. And so my encouragement to you is just follow these things and you will get to the results that you want to be, and you'll be successful, wildly successful 3 years from now instead of out of the business. So if you have any questions, any comments, comment in the comment section below. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the bell that way you're notified, and please make sure you share this out. If you know any industry groups, any threads, any people that you can email this with, share this video out on social media, on email, anywhere, because out of all the videos I've done, I feel like this is one for agents in the industry that every agent needs to see. And so I would really appreciate that. And that's it. Until next video, have a blessed, inspirational day. We'll talk soon.